So you're an NFL agent, and you just had the big announcement for Divine Sports and Entertainment. How did you get in this business, and when did you get into this business? Talk about your journey and how you got started.
Well, I was an undrafted free agent with the Jets almost, well, man, 20 years ago, and bounced around in NFL Europe, Canada, arena, and all that. Went back home, was working with Fort Wayne Community Schools for a couple of years, and then I followed my father's footsteps about a decade and a half ago. And, my father's been an agent for about 30 plus years, and he either represented or co-represented nine Hall of Famers. I still work with a few of them to this day, so basically following his footsteps and, just learning a lot of ups and downs of this business. It's a dog eat dog business. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's a crazy business at times, but it does teach you a lot of things about who you are as a person. I mean, because I've got a guy that's in prison right now that I go and see and interact with, Henry Ruggs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've seen him score touchdowns, and I've also seen him, um, with tears in his eyes. So it's a great journey. Now I'm with Divine Sports. I'm the president and partner of that firm. Two young African American brothers that I linked up with, Ryan Williams Jenkins and Mike the Same. Two young, great servant leaders in this industry. We all jailed together with a few other young ladies and men. We got Marcus Muhammad from Fort Wayne with us. And we got some 260 talent with us in
Mm-hmm.
our NIL space with Tay Johnson, Mylan Graham, and others. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a great thing. I was with a bigger firm, now with a more smaller boutique firm, but we're very hands-on. Like I said, there's not many firms that can say that they're servicing Hall of Famers all the way down to NIL and connecting with the community. And I'm just blessed that I'm continuing to be able to do what I can do.
Yeah, you mentioned one thing that kind of perked up in my brain when you mentioned it was NFL Europe. That brings me back. A long time, and obviously the game has tried to go over there. Is still going over there, in more ways than one now. Now I'm in visiting multiple countries over there. But what was it like back then to play when in that kind of upstart, trying to get the NFL game to grow over there in its initial phase, whereas now they're just playing games over there when they actually used to have teams over there and playing in that. What was that like?
Oh man, it was great. I was with the Hamburg Sea Devils, Hamburg, Germany, and you would walk around, and people know that you're not from Germany or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
they treated you like you was like a celebrity, because football is pretty popular in a lot of those countries over there, and then in Germany it is as well. And but soccer's king, So
Yeah.
anytime you mention soccer, they really didn't even like this saying football, because the
Yeah.
real football is soccer.
Right.
But it was definitely a learning curve for me because I like eating, and it was tough for me at first. So I did find the closest KFC, and I treated KFC like it was Ruth Chris. I went there every other day. It was definitely. I'm telling you, that was like
Yeah.
the treat for me.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of those individuals that went over there, they were, last on the bench, third stringers, stuff like that. And we really bonded. I actually talked to a few of them to this day. And it shows really, the tenacity that some of these guys have.
Mm-hmm.
Because we wasn't getting paid that much. And a lot of these individuals haven't seen their families in a long time, but they're still grinding, working, doing the extra, and making sure that they were trying to be better than they were yesterday. And the learning lessons that I got from that time period, um, you know, the lights aren't as shiny and bright, but what are you going to do with that others won't? And I try to pass that lesson on to my son, to the clients that I serve today, and I really that experience helped me get to where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one thing I love about you guys at Divine that you guys are working with is NIL, which, a lot of people have their opinions on NIL and, where it stands in college sports and high school athletes. but it's something that is very important to include in your services, right? These days, and what's your approach for NIL for high school athletes and college athletes?
Well, my approach is, I mean, you want to get your guys compensated. You want to make sure that they get what they're worth, but you want to also educate them about the process. I mean, look, it's here. It's not going away.
Right.
Guys are going to get compensated for the stuff that they do in college and even in high school now. So what can we put in front of them so they don't become we can get on the episode of 30 for 30 broke or something like
Mhm.
that.
Right.
So we definitely are doing seminars. We're going to do, just a very hands-on approach of, okay, you got this money. What are you going to do with it? How can you be better after you get done playing? Because this is a short time. I mean, if you
Right.
play for 10 years, you're still in your 30s. I mean, you're still a baby. I wish I was 35 years old.
Hmm.
And We want to put good people in front of these individuals so they can make smart decisions. I mean, we're doing that right now, and I think it's a good thing. The only bad thing about the NIL era is there's a lot of I guess people who are getting in front of these kids who didn't put the work in, they're not certified, or they didn't go through the proper training to set these kids up for success. And I mean, look, I mean, you can be anybody and be an NIL agent.
Right.
And it's unfortunate because when you get real documents, I mean, I look at documents for a living, and
Right.
little words could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. I tell people that all the time.
Hmm.
Words that are not added, or they are added,
Yep.
it could cost you. So
Yeah.
that's why you need to have qualified people making sure what you put your John Hancock on is right.
Yeah. I mean, it's been crazy that it's just blown up so fast. How have you kind of been able to keep up with it, because there's things changing. It feels like almost on a daily basis right now, with the NIL era that started just a handful of years ago, and feels like it's sped up and just is on a bullet train right now. How have you kind of approached how things can change quickly, very very rapidly?
Well, I mean, be quite honest, that's one of the reasons why I left where I was and
Mm.
where I'm at now. I wanted to get younger. I wanted to get with individuals who were doing some work in the NIL space a lot more than I have. I mean, at first I took the approach of, well, this is the wild wild west. It's crazy. I'm just going to stick to traditional recruiting, my traditional work in the NFL. But I
Yep.
learned very quickly, if you're not in that NIL space, you're going to swing and miss a lot,
Mm.
and you're not going to have the opportunity to help these young men grow. So I'm actually going all the way down into high school now. I mean, I'm talking to high school kids now, and I mean, I might not be able to get them the multi-million-dollar deal, but I can get them some work, get some money in their pocket, and then I'm going to sprinkle in some education early in the
Hmm.
process. And I mean, that's what you have to do now. I mean, shoot, you got some of the biggest agencies right now, tapping into some of the biggest high school programs in the country. Now, look, that's been happening a lot in the basketball space. Where football is, I mean, probably a decade behind, 2 decades behind basketball when it comes to this. Football's now starting to catch up, and again, there are some horror stories with people like me interacting with these young folks, but there's a lot of good stories of us, making sure that yes, we're gonna put some money in your pocket, but we're gonna educate you along the way.
Hmm.
I love it. I mean, so like my only introduction to being an NFL agent is the show Ballers. So I got somebody that's really in it. So what? And you said you were already doing some work this morning. So like,
Yeah, sorry
what's
about being
what's
late.
it's all good. What is a day in the life like? I know you got a couple players playing today in the Super Bowl, but what's a day to day kind of thing for you? What's a day in the life of Javon Barnes as a certified NFL agent?
Well, I mean, no day is the same. I'll tell you, like one day I could get a call from a parent that needs their whole life scheduled. So we have someone for that. I mean, because
Hmm.
that's just part of the gig. You're dealing with the athlete, the client, but in some cases, we have to help out family situations, so yeah, I'll get that call early in the morning. Another day, the client may say, hey, I'm staying here, but I want to train all the way on the other side of the country. You need to make sure that, all my stuff was at point A. Now it's going to be in point B. So
Yeah.
we got to figure that out. Obviously, you're talking to teams and scouts, and you're trying to get as much information as possible so you're ready for contract negotiations or renegotiations or extensions or stuff like that. And then, uh, quite honestly, you got to fight off other agents. That's the side that
That's
I know they
crazy.
show a little bit. I know they show a little bit of that on Ballers and Jerry Maguire and all that. But no, you got to fight off other agents, And I got some horror stories and war stories with agents, and I've had it rolled up on a couple of them, and we talk and we smoothed it out. Look, I'm 6'3.5", 240, so I think I'll be batting a pretty
Not the
high batting
typical agent
average.
size.
Yeah, I'll be batting a pretty high batting average, but no, it's and then like I said previously, you have some of the tragic situations that you deal with. Now that's not on the daily, but that is in the realm of possibility because you're dealing with human beings. The beauty about doing what I do is you get to see these young men's lives change. And, you have undrafted free agents who become starters, and now, they're able to make sure that their kids or their mom is in a better place. I have stories like that. Devin Hester and I bumped into each other a few times out here at the Super Bowl. He's a Hall of Famer, and he's still so humble, so great. We still work with him. I'm working with him his whole career. To this day, we're around the same age. I was blessed enough to be a part of his last contract, and I'm still doing some off the field stuff with him now. But he can do what he wants to do when he wants to do it because he followed the game plan. So it's just a great blessing to be a part of this.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple local guys, obviously Tay Johnson and Mylan Graham, and obviously I'm a Notre Dame fan, so I'm happy they're both playing for the Irish now. But even just off the field, what have you seen as far as growth from them? How have those guys? Obviously, they're both improving on the field. Tay took a huge step into the starting lineup this past year, and is going to be a superstar up there in South Bend. And Mylan's just it feels like he could have a big breakout this year. But what have you seen as far as growth from both of those guys?
Well, I bet you DeMarcus Muhammad can speak more to this because he has been. Look, he's a great young agent. Part of our Fort Wayne 260 Inner Circle. He's been with them since they were young. But the little bit I've seen, from just watching above is just they continuously want to be better. Like there's a lot of kids now that just want to be famous or just want to make a buck.
Yeah.
And the guys that come from that camp, that trashing camp, more times than not, they want to be great players. And that's the part that I see from both of those individuals. They really want to be great. You talk to a lot of individuals now, and you have I have a recruiting meeting and we're talking or whatever. Being great does not come out of their mouths, a lot of times, but when you talk to those two individuals and, anybody that's associated with those two individuals, they still want to be great. And that is, I'm telling you, man, they're a last of a dying breed now. And they are great examples of, if you continue to work hard, continue to put the grind, and you put it in front of you and then say, okay, I'm going to take on all challenges. More times than not, good things can happen.
So today, on days like today with the Super Bowl, you got a couple players involved. I don't know if you're on Radio Row or anything like that. I know you got some parties to hit up or something. But what's a day in the life like for you today on a Super Bowl Sunday?
Well, some games I go to. I've been to a couple games, and most of the time I'm just networking through the day. I probably got three things we can go to before the Super Bowl happens, and out here I'm promoting a marketing company that I'm tied into. It's called Create Fans. So I'm having meetings about that. I'm always working. I mean, anybody that knows me, 24/7, I'm grinding because I really want to be great at what I do. But if I'm not going to the game, I go to a watch party. I'm going to a watch party during the game, and then I'll visit the players afterwards. I got a couple tickets for the friends and family
Hmm.
after party. Now, hopefully, see, the crazy thing about this year is someone that I represent is going to lose.
Yeah.
So going to the after party, the losing team is just isn't
Yeah.
cool. So I'm just going to figure out how everybody's going to be feeling during that time.
Yeah. All right. Well, who you got in today's game? Are you going to go against family or not?
Well, I'll say this. I'm not supposed to root for anybody, but obviously I'm gonna lean towards the Seattle Seahawks
Mm-hmm.
24-17.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I got a cousin that works for Seattle. I got three guys for Seattle, one for New England, even though my New England guy, he's my guy. All of them are my guys, but that's my guy over there
Yeah.
too. So I know if he gets this tape, he's like, man, what's going on? I was like, you my guy too. And hey, if you win, man, we're gonna celebrate. I'm gonna be at the after party, man, and then we're gonna celebrate and drink the champagne.
That's right.
But I think Seattle's gonna edge 24-17.
All right. Well, that's Javon Barnes, NFL agent for Divine Sports and Entertainment. Thank you so much for joining the show today, and enjoy the game out there. All right.
I appreciate you. You guys have a good one.